Welcome to Virtual Gardening 101. This is a place where we dig into the digital soil and reap real results. I want to thank you for joining me for another interesting feature. Prior to planting these sweet peppers and cucumbers, the farmer planted some cabbages. There was a long break between the harvest and this current crop of veggies, and so invasive weed species like Spanish needles seized the opportunity to populate the area. He used herbicide to spray the weeds because it is a much faster and less time-consuming method to clear the land. I noticed shortly after the sweet peppers were transplanted, the farmer had to go through and weed out the Spanish needle seedlings because the plants he had sprayed had already produced seeds and they had started to disperse while he was spraying. I think this is a mistake a lot of farmers are making, why they have not been able to manage this weed and others like the Santa Maria Feverfew effectively. I think it's counterproductive to manage weeds on a whole in this way. They need to either spray or weed out the unwanted plants before they are able to produce seeds. By spraying the plants with the seeds, it's like the farmer is perpetuating the weeds, because as soon as the plants they have sprayed dries up, the next generation is gonna come back very fast because they don't have clearance to go back, and when they are coming back they are even more vigorous. Despite the long dry spell we had prior to the passage of Hurricane Helene, he has been able to harvest a few times. I think the occasional rainfall we got leading up to the storm stimulated the plants to produce fruits because he was not able to water them as he should. Based on my observation, they need to be watered frequently during the drier periods, because there were times when I would pass and notice they were wilting in the sun. Speaking of Helen, I'm really thankful that we weren't affected significantly by her passage through the region, because people are still recovering from the effects of Hurricane Beryl. Each time I pass, I keep observing the field, and I notice there has been a dramatic change in the foliage due to the changes we have been experiencing where rainfall is concerned. He has not applied any fungicide, and I would know because I would have seen residue of the spray on the leaves. As a result of this, bacterial leaf spots have taken up the leaves of the plants in a significant way. I think this one is caused by the Xanthomonas campestris bacteria. It is the most common foliar disease to affect peppers. In the early stages, the disease causes defoliation. I notice some of the leaves have fallen, but I have not really observed any decline in the fruits or in terms of the fruit quality so far. The disease can be managed by selecting varieties that are resistant to the disease. You also want to make sure that when you go out to get plants from your nursery at the farm store, because some farm stores do sell seedlings, you want to make sure that they are not affected by the disease. Although I notice most farm stores normally spray their plants, so that shouldn't be a problem. You also want to mulch your plants deeply with organic material like grass cuttings. Also avoid overhead watering, because water that is left on the leaf overnight spells trouble for not only pepper plants but other plants that are sensitive to water. You have fungal diseases that are caused by water that is sitting on the leaf overnight as well. You want to remove plants that are badly infected, and also spray the plant every 14 to 28 days with a copper-based fungicide, and this should help to slow down or control the spread of the infection. He has also done some intercropping by incorporating cucumbers within the field, but he hasn't provided any support for them. Cucumbers tend to do much better when they are allowed to grow vertically. And by this I mean they are allowed to grow on a kind of a trellis or a structure that raises them up off the ground. Since the rain started, I noticed that the cucumbers have also taken a dramatic turn, like the sweet peppers. As far as the foliage, I noticed there are spots on the leaves, and I'm not sure if this is the Alternaria leaf blight. If you're able to identify, the disease, then you can let me know in the comment section. The field has also gotten very crowded because weeds are coming up. Weeds always make the most of rainfall, coupled with the fact that the cucumber vines are running on the ground. So under these crowded conditions, foliar disease like the Alternaria leaf blight and the Xanthomonas campestris and other fungal disease thrive very well, because they thrive under condition where there is poor air circulation, and he has not been applying any fungicide as well. So these are some of the shortfalls where this farm is concerned. I hope the information that I have shared will help you to avoid the pitfalls that I have identified throughout this feature. I hope you find it very informative, and just ask that you continue to support the growth of the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in another one.